Welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work. In the hustle of profit, product, and productivity, it's easy to neglect the how, our ethics, our conduct, and our internal state of being. But what if the secret to sustainable success wasn't found in the latest management trend, but in wisdom that's existed for thousands of years? The host of this podcast, Kimberly Killer, is here to explore the ancient concepts of Yamas and Niyamas as a powerful framework for modern leadership. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to help you apply proven lessons from the yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today. I'm your host and guide, Kimberly Kaler, and it is my great pleasure to share my insight on how to meld mindfulness into our work world, however you define work, as a teacher, a corporate executive, or even a community volunteer. Today's topic is the ethical edge, integrating Yamas and Niyamas into modern business. In the relentless pursuit of quarterly growth and market dominance, the modern business landscape has often sidelined the human element. We possess sophisticated tools for data analysis, project management, and logistical optimization, yet we frequently lack a coherent framework for the ethical and interpersonal complexities that define organizational health. We optimize our algorithms, but we neglect our ethos. This disconnect is where the ancient wisdom of the Yamas and Niyamas finds its striking relevance today. Far from being esoteric concepts reserved for the yoga mat, these 10 ethical guidelines offer a robust, practical operating system for modern leadership. They provide a blueprint for integrating integrity into our bottom line, proving that ethical conduct and sustainable success are not mutually exclusive. They are interdependent. The business case for ancient wisdom. Why should a CEO or a department head care about Sanskrit concepts dating back thousands of years? The answer lies in sustainability and trust. The transactional model of leadership, where people are resources to be mined, is crumbling. The workforce of today demands purpose, psychological safety, and leaders who embody integrity. When we integrate the yamas, which are often referred to as social restraints, and the niyamas, personal observances, into our business practices, we move from a reactive state of damage control to a proactive state of conscious cultural building. We stop trying to manage ethics through compliance handbooks and start cultivating it through character. Fostering ethical decision-making. Decision-making is the rudder of any organization. In high-pressure environments, it's easy for decisions to be driven by fear, ego, or short-term greed. The yamas serve as a powerful ethical filter, a checklist that leaders can run through before finalizing any major strategic move. The integrity filter. Imagine applying the principle of satya, truthfulness, not just to avoiding lies, but to radical transparency in marketing. Does the product actually do what we claim? Are we hiding fees in the fine print? A business grounded in satya builds a brand reputation that is bulletproofed because it's based on reality. Consider ahimsa, nonviolence, in the context of supply chains. An ethical decision-making framework asks, does this cheaper supplier use labor practices that harm workers? If so, the decision violates ahimsa. By choosing the non-violent path, a company mitigates reputational risk and aligns itself with the values of conscious consumers. Let's talk now about the abundance mindset. Asteya, non-stealing, and aparigraha, non-greed, challenge the zero-sum mindset often found in competitive industries. Instead of asking, how can we crush the competition? Or how can we extract the most value from this client? These principles guide leaders to ask, how can we create fair value? And are we taking more than our share? This shift fosters partnerships rather than predatory practices, leading to longevity in the market. Building a positive workplace culture is key as well. Culture is not created by the values written on the lobby wall. It's created by the behaviors tolerated and rewarded in the hallway. The Niyamas provide the internal architecture for a healthy culture. Let's begin with cleanliness and clarity. Satya, purity, in the business context translates to clarity and order. A culture of Satya is one where communication lines are clean, roles are defined, and gossip is not tolerated. It minimizes the organizational sludge of confusion and politics that slow down the execution. Let's also talk about the discipline of resilience. Tapas, self-discipline, is the fuel for resilience. A culture that values tapas understands that meaningful work requires grit. It encourages teams to push through the messy middle of projects without losing heart. However, this is balanced by santosha, contentment, which ensures that the drive for more doesn't destroy appreciation for what is. A workplace that balances grit with gratitude protects its employees from burnout. So, how do we drive sustainable success? The ultimate application of these principles is a shift from short-term extraction to long-term sustainability. The principle of moderation is critical here. In a business context, it warns against the reckless expenditure of energy and resources. Companies that scale too fast, burning through cash and employee goodwill, are violating such moderation. They're sprinting a marathon. Integrating moderation means managing the company's energy, its capital, and its people wisely. It means recognizing that 80-hour work weeks are a failure of planning, not a badge of honor. And then finally, we move to our last niyama, that of surrender. It teaches leaders to detach from the ego of the outcome. This sounds counterintuitive in a results-driven world, but it is the secret to adaptability. When leaders surrender their need to control every variable, they become more agile. They can pivot faster because they aren't rigidly attached to a plan that the market has rendered obsolete. So, what are some actionable strategies for integration? How do we take these high-level concepts and weave them into the fabric of a Tuesday morning staff meeting? Here's 3 practical strategies. Number 1, the Yama check in strategic planning. Incorporate a distinct step in your project approval process called the Yama check. Before a new initiative is greenlit, the team must answer the following. Ahimsa, does this harm anyone? Employees, environment, customers, our members? Satya, is our timeline and promise truthful? Asteya, are we giving credit where it is due and paying fair rates? And Aparga, is this driven by necessary growth or unchecked greed? This simple pause can save millions in future PR crises and internal cleanup. Number 2, operationalizing self-study. Making self-study a core competency in your performance reviews is key. Move beyond what did you achieve to what did you learn about your leadership style. Create a user manual of me for every team member where they document their communication styles, triggers, and values. This encourages introspection and creates a culture where self-awareness is valued as highly as a technical skill. And then number 3, meeting protocols based on presence. Using Santosha, contentment, and Brahmacharya, moderation, to restructure your meetings. Start with a win. Begin every meeting by sharing one thing that the team is content with or grateful for, Santosha. This primes the brain for creative problem solving rather than threat of detection. Number 2, respect the container. End meetings 5 minutes early to allow for transition time. Respect the boundaries of time, shows respect for the energy of your team. In conclusion, let's talk about the whole human business. So integrating the Yamas and Niyamas into business is not about converting your office into an ashram. It is about recognizing that business is fundamentally a human activity. When we align our professional conduct with these universal ethical principles, we stop bifurcating our lives into the work mode and personal mode. We bring our whole authentic selves to the office. The result is an organization that is not only profitable, but principled. It is a business that employees are proud to work for, and customers and members are proud to be associated with. In a world desperate for leadership that can be trusted, The ancient wisdom of the Yamas and Niyamas offers the most modern competitive advantage of all, integrity.
Thank you so much for listening to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to meld mindfulness into the work we do. We invite you to subscribe as well as visit wisdomfortheworkwedo.com for additional resources. Until next time, we invite you to consider how you can apply the wisdom yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today, with integrity, clarity, and compassion.